Most baking mistakes happen before the mixer is even turned on. Many people rush into mixing without properly preparing their ingredients. They skip small but important steps, and that often leads to disappointing results. Good baking starts long before the batter comes together. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to prepare your ingredients so you can begin every recipe with confidence. So let's get started with the first and most important step. Before you touch any ingredient, you should read the entire recipe from start to finish. This step may seem obvious, but if you skip it, you might miss important information like oven temperature, baking time, or special notes. Sometimes, for example, a recipe asks you to bring the butter to room temperature. If you notice this too late, it can slow you down or affect your final result. Reading the recipe first helps you understand the full process before you begin. After reading the recipe carefully, it is time to prepare your ingredients. In baking, the step is called mise en place. It means having everything measured, prepared, and ready before you start. I like to measure all my ingredients beforehand and place them into small bowls to keep my workspace organized. When everything is prepared in advance, the process becomes much smoother and less stressful. It saves time while mixing and helps you stay focused. Once your ingredients are measured and ready, the next step is to check their temperature. Many recipes require certain ingredients to be at room temperature. This often includes butter, eggs, and sometimes milk. Sometimes ingredients will not mix properly if they are too cold. For example, butter will not blend smoothly when it comes straight out of the fridge. If I need to soften butter quickly, I place it in the oven at very low temperature around 80 to 90 degrees for a short time. This small step can make a big difference in structure and texture. Now that your ingredients are ready, it is time to prepare your bakeware. Ideally, you should grease your pan or line them with parchment paper before you start mixing. Before we had a stand mixer, I always prepared my pans first. Now, since the mixer is doing the work, I sometimes prepare the bakeware while the batter is mixing. For muffins, prepare your muffin tin with paper liners or lightly grease each cavity. For cakes or loaves, make sure the pan is evenly coated so nothing sticks. Taking a few minutes to prepare your bakeware in advance makes the process smoother and more organized. Before you start mixing, there's one more important step. Preheat your oven. Your oven should always be fully heated before the batter goes in, unless the recipe states otherwise. If the oven isn't hot enough, the bake may not rise properly or bake evenly. Turn on the oven as soon as you begin preparing your ingredients. This way it will be ready when you are. Not preheating your oven can affect the final result, which brings us to the final thing to consider. Even when everything is prepared, timing still plays an important role. Some batters should not sit for too long before going into the oven. For example, recipes that use baking powder or baking soda work best when baked soon after mixing. If you wait too long, the batter can lose its strength. This may affect how your bake rises and looks at the end. That's why good preparation and timing go hand in hand. As you can see, good baking doesn't begin with mixing, it begins with preparation. Reading the recipe, organizing your ingredients, checking their temperature, preparing your pans, and preheating your oven all make a real difference. These small steps may seem simple, but together they create better and more consistent results. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can also follow me on my other socials, which are linked in the description. Thanks for watching, and I hope this episode helps you feel more confident in your baking kitchen. See you soon!